I saw the replay. I look really soft. It wasn't that bad of a turn, but it hurt. I've done it a few times, so it is what it is. You're not a real basketball player if you haven't sprained your ankles a bunch. That's when you know. Yeah. Give yourself a second. If you ever sprained your ankle, it just kind of stings for a little bit. So I was good. They're like, you want to go in the back? I'm like, no, please, just tape right here. Let's go. We gotta keep going.
You know what's crazy? Caitlin Clark just rolled her ankle so bad she was screaming in pain. But guess what she said after? You're not a real basketball player if you haven't sprained your ankles a bunch. That's some next level toughness right there. Picture this, you're at the top of your game, then suddenly you're down. For most players, it's a nightmare. But Clark, she turned it into something else entirely. Her mindset in that moment is a game changer for athletes everywhere. When Caitlin Clark hit the floor, everyone held their breath. But what was going through her mind? You'd think she'd be panicking, right? Nope. Clark's reaction to the injury is blowing people's minds. It's not what you'd expect from a rising star facing a potential career setback. Here's the thing about sports injuries. They're not just physical, they mess with your head too. Athletes often freak out, wondering if they'll ever play the same way again. But Clark, she's out here cracking jokes about it. Can you believe that? After the game, Clark hit us with this gem. Sometimes you just need a second to give yourself a second. It just kinda stings for a little bit. That's not just a player brushing off an injury. That's next level mental toughness right there. But wait, it gets better. Clark didn't stop there. She went on to say, I've done it a few times, so it is what it is. You're not a real basketball player if you haven't sprained your ankles a bunch. Now that's what you call putting things in perspective. Think about it. Most of us would be freaking out, maybe even crying. But Clark's over here basically saying, yeah, this happens, no big deal. That's the kind of attitude that separates the good from the great in sports. Now, let's talk about why this matters so much. In the world of pro sports, your mind is just as important as your body, maybe even more important. When you get injured, it's easy to spiral. You start doubting yourself, wondering if you'll ever be the same player again. That doubt, it can eat you alive if you let it. But Clark, she's not letting that doubt anywhere near her. Her attitude is like a force field against all that negative stuff. And that's huge for her future in the WNBA. You see, being a pro athlete isn't just about how well you play when everything's going great. It's about how you handle the tough times, the setbacks, the moments when it feels like everything's falling apart. That's when you really see what a player is made of. And Clark, she's showing us she's made of some seriously tough stuff. Her ability to laugh off an injury that would have most players shook? That's the kind of mental strength that can take a good player and turn them into a legend. It's not just about bouncing back physically, it's about bouncing back mentally. And Clark's showing us she's got that on lock. She's not just recovering from an injury, she's turning it into a chance to show the world what she's made of. Clark's impressive mindset is just part of the equation. There's a hidden force at play here, one that's reshaping how athletes bounce back from setbacks. Ever wondered how a sea of strangers could impact a star player's recovery? The answer might surprise you. When Caitlin Clark hit the floor, it wasn't just her teammates who rushed to her side. The entire WNBA fandom mobilized in a way we've never seen before. Social media exploded with messages of support, encouragement, and even a few jokes that had Clark herself cracking up. You know what's wild? One fan tweeted, Caitlin, you've got this. We're all rooting for you. And just like that, thousands of retweets later, it turned into a viral wave of positivity. It's like the whole internet decided to become Clark's personal cheerleading squad. But here's the thing, social media isn't always sunshine and rainbows for athletes. It can be a double-edged sword. One minute you're riding high on fan love, the next you're dodging haters left and right. For Clark though, it was all love. Imagine waking up to thousands of notifications, all from people you've never met, telling you they believe in you. That's what Clark experienced. It's not just about feeling good. This kind of support can actually impact an athlete's recovery. It's like having a whole army behind you, pushing you to get better. Clark and her team didn't just sit back and soak it all in though. They got smart about it. They used social media to keep fans in the loop about her recovery. A quick tweet here, an Instagram story there. Suddenly, fans felt like they were part of Clark's journey back to the court. This isn't just about Clark though, it's changing the game for all athletes. Think about it. Back in the day, if you got injured, you'd disappear for a while and come back when you were ready. Now, fans are with you every step of the way. It's like they're rehabbing right alongside you. But let's talk about why this matters so much. When you're an athlete facing an injury, your mental game is everything. And knowing you've got thousands, maybe even millions of people rooting for you, that's like rocket fuel for your recovery. Clark's using this support to fuel her comeback. comeback, every supportive comment, every encouraging tweet, it's all pushing her to work harder, recover faster. It's turning what could have been a setback into a comeback story for the ages. While Clark battles her injury, another rookie is making moves off the court. Angel Reese just dropped a bombshell announcement that's got everyone talking. Is she setting herself up for success, or is this a risky play that could backfire? You won't believe what Angel Reese is up to now. She's not just dominating on the court, she's taking her game to a whole new level with a podcast called Unapologetically Angel. That's right, Reese is jumping into the world of content creation, and it's causing quite a stir in the WNBA community.
Not only being the best on the floor, but also being unapologetically herself.
Angel Reese has been a blessing to girls basketball.
The most impressive rookie so far has been Angel Reese.
Look at all the brand deals that she has.
Think about it, Reese is already making waves as a rookie, and now she's adding podcast hosts to her resume? That's a bold move. Some people are saying it's genius, others are worried it might distract her from basketball. But here's the thing, Reese isn't just an athlete anymore. She's building her brand, and she's doing it her way. Let's talk about the timing of this launch. It's not random, folks. Reese is striking while the iron is hot, capitalizing on her rookie success to branch out. But it's not just about fame or money. This podcast gives Reese a platform to share her story, her thoughts, and connect with fans in a way that goes beyond the basketball court. Now, you might be wondering, can she really handle a pro sports career and content creation at the same time? It's a fair question. Balancing these two worlds isn't easy. On one hand, the podcast could take time away from training and recovery, but on the other hand, it could actually help Reese's game by boosting her confidence and giving her a creative outlet. Here's where it gets really interesting. Reese isn't the first athlete to expand her brand beyond sports, but she's doing it earlier in her career than most. We're seeing a trend where athletes are becoming more than just players. They're becoming full-on media personalities. It's changing the game, literally and figuratively. But let's be real for a second, this move comes with risks. What if the podcast affects Reese's performance on the court? What if she says something controversial that impacts her public image? These are the kinds of things Reese and her team have to consider. On the flip side, the benefits could be huge. We're talking increased fan engagement, new sponsorship opportunities, and a career that could extend long after she hangs up her jersey. Plus, it gives Reese a chance to control her own narrative. In a world where athletes are often reduced to stats and highlights, that's pretty powerful stuff. You know what's crazy? This podcast could actually make Reese a better player. How? By giving her a space to reflect on her game, connect with fans, and build her confidence. It's like mental training, but with a microphone instead of a basketball. Now, some people might say Reese should focus solely on basketball, but that's old school thinking. In today's world, athletes need to be more than just players. They need to be brands. And Reese? She's ahead of the curve. Think about the impact this could have on the WNBA as a whole. If Reese's podcast takes off, we might see more players following in her footsteps. It could change how fans interact with the league, how sponsors approach partnerships, and how young players view their career options. But here's the million-dollar question, will it work? Will Reese be able to juggle her basketball career and her new role as a podcaster? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, she's got guts. And in the world of pro sports, sometimes that's half the battle.